But like I told Barack, if I reach something where there's a fundamental disagreement we have based on a moral principle, I'll develop some disease and say I have to resign. We don't have that. We haven't, and we discussed it.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
So now that the process is played out, from the grassroots bottom up, we are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
No.
Before y'all Democrats start trying to play the race card, I want y'all to understand this. Kamala is not black. Her kids is not black. Her husband is not black. She does not come from black culture. So don't tell me I got to support Kamala Harris because she black. The race pander from the Democratic Party got to stop. It's really that simple. Thank you for listening.
Hey, yo, Wavy. Number 2 on the video on the channel, man. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been pulling up to the videos. Let's get straight into it. We got Kamala Harris here, thrusted into the spotlight after the Democrats conducted what I call a coup de grace.
Plant, I believe. They about to get wet.
They went in there and said, nah, we can't have him anymore. And they've put her into the Democrat nomination seat. Now, if you voted in the primary for Joe Biden, how do you feel as a Democrat? Do you feel like if your vote counts, does it matter? If they don't like the person who you feel like you elected or was duly elected, then, you know, they can just replace that person. What is that? What kind of precedent are we setting? Also, if you're a Democrat, you should feel lied to. You should feel like these people told you Joe Biden was able, he was strong, he was full of energy. And then now, since the debate, they've been all talking about, all of a sudden, it's a new revelation that he's out of his mind. You know, and I say that with respect because I've been saying for a while, they should not be abusing this old man like that. His family needs to step in or something. Anyway, Kamala Harris is seeming to be the nominee, okay? She's getting a lot of endorsements.
I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now. But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country. Including from President Biden. But she's yet to receive support from former President Barack Obama. But I believe that she does have enough of the delegate votes that she can become the nominee. Correct me if I'm wrong. But people are all over the place. Before we get to some of the responses that we're seeing on the internet, because there's been a lot of them, I can't get to all of them. I wanted to touch real quick on her campaign and how it's doing. Okay, it's raised more than $100 million after its launch. And we'll get to some of the crazy numbers that they've been putting up, okay? So VP Harris' presidential campaign raked in more than $100 million between Sunday afternoon and Monday evening. I believe that that's a little more than 24 hours, 100 million. You know, I have a question. Are these big donors? Are these small dollar donors similar to when President Trump became a convicted felon? We saw that a lot of small donors, a lot of first-time donors made donations. Harris launched her campaign after President Biden ended his bid for re-election. Did he end it? Or did the party just throw him out of there? Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, and all the other ones. Did they just get him out of there? And does he even know that he has been thrown out of the presidential election race? The campaign said earlier it took in $81 million in the 24 hours after Mr. Biden dropped out. It was the largest amount of money raised in a 24-hour span in presidential history. So I believe that with these numbers, she has crushed the previous numbers held by President Trump. A call hosted by the group Win with Black Women brought in $1.6 million alone. So they already got the black women vote. What's funny to me is how quickly some of you forget. In the 2020 primary, a lot of you didn't even want Vice President Harris. A lot of you, she wasn't even on the radar in some of the polls. Now she's conveniently black when it fits her narrative. All right, before then, she was always associating herself with being Indian American, like from India and stuff like that. Now she's conveniently black. But when you look at her family, where do you see the black? Tell me. Oh, no, not that one. This one.
Don't know how that got in there.
Man, they got me f***ed up. I wouldn't dare vote for no black. Now, listen, I was raised by black women. I got a grandmother, I got black sisters, but I wouldn't dare put no black woman in no motherfucking position of the White House. The commander-in-chief of the military, a black woman. Not only that, a mixed black married to a white man. Her pH balance is way off with that white dick. Man, you can't make me believe. Man, Kamala Harris got a white boy. Her pH balance is off, and her mental instability got to be off. A hoe would have thrown off pH balance unless she's sneaking and f***ing a nigga. Now, if she's sneaking and f***ing a nigga, then we might can let her be vice president. But there's no way. America, I'd rather for black people to go back to slavery than let a black woman run this goddamn country. Don't do it.
If we don't have her get there, let's let her get there on some merits of her own. All right, not when President Biden was running, he said that he wanted a black woman as his vice president. All right, not now that after the primaries, now all of a sudden President Biden loses the debate. Now he drops out of the race less than 2 weeks later, or about 2 weeks later, and Kamala Harris all of a sudden inherits the nomination. I'm not really sure what qualifies her besides that now she's a black woman.
I said, ooh, bye-bye. So what? Who cares? Good riddance, Joe Biden. We don't care that you step down. You ought to be going to prison for crimes against humanity. However, I do pray that your old arse repent, because you're going to have to give an account to God, and that's going to be soon, sometime soon. However, we just going to scoot you right on out the way and deal with Kamala Harris. Sis, we're not voting for you, okay? Y'all the same party. Team Biden, Team Harris. Y'all got the same beliefs. No, we ain't doing that. We don't care if you bring the abominations along, okay? We ain't voting for them either. And when I say we, I'm not talking about those melanated folks that are still being poisoned by politricians that's going to show up in my comment section, unable to dispute the truth, but come for me, and I'm going to come back.
Your talk,
I'm
mama.
talking about we that is not voting color. I don't care if you put Medusa on the ballot. We ain't voting for her either. We voting policies.
I'm not going to lie, yo. It's refreshing seeing these beautiful black women speaking like this, yo. For real. Like, I'm even going down my X feed, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a trend going on where a lot of black American women are posting themselves and they're saying that they will not be voting for Kamala Harris. I salute to them, applaud to them. I have a question though, who are they voting for? I am interested to know that.
Y'all women, you better not do that bullshit.
They will.
Don't do it. Do not do it.
They still on the plantation.
Yeah, you seen Biden dropped out. Do not vote for no Kamala.
Too late.
You have no idea. I'm telling you now, you have no idea what you're gonna cause.
Too late.
Yes, we gonna stick together. That's an Indian woman. That ain't our people. Get away from that. Do not do it. This woman is more crooked than you think. Don't do it. Do not do it. Y'all feminists, do not do it.
Those are going to be the main ones. We told them in 2020 what was going to happen if they voted for Biden, right? 83 million votes.
Don't vote for that. Y'all don't see the agenda?
You got to be able to look at someone's track record. A couple weeks ago, everyone was championing Joe Biden. There was nobody saying anything was wrong with him on the left. Now, all of a sudden, everybody teamed up, ganged up on him, got him out of there. Yo, wait, how the hell did that get in there? This is the one I meant to show. Right here. Is this who you identify with? You know, I'm speaking specifically to the black women. Is this who you could see embodying what you embody? You know, grew up in a similar situation to how you grew up doing the same things as you were, you know, in the culture that you were in? I'm interested to know. Does her family as a whole look like yours? Now remember, her children are not her biological children. They're her husband's children from a previous marriage. How do you feel about all of this? Vice President Kamala Harris potentially being the nominee for the Democrat Party. Now, we won't find out until another
4 weeks or so, 3 or 4 weeks until the DNC, at which point we'll know officially who it is. How do you feel about President Biden being taken out of the race because all of a sudden he's too sick to carry on when we've been told forever that he was good? And Vice President Harris, who's been working closely with him for years now, tells us that nothing is wrong at all with him, but apparently the people have spoken, or the big donors and elites have spoken, with the amount of money that she's been able to raise in such a short period of time. I'm talking about breaking records that we thought that President Trump had broken already. She has demolished them. Or on the flip side, how do you feel about the Trump campaign and his team? I mean, they put together a lot of money to go after Biden, you know, now that Biden has dropped out of the race, you know, and I'm sure that they've strategically placed where they were going to do debates, whether it was swing states and stuff like that, that they put them where Joe Biden was going to be weak. Now, all of a sudden, they have to revamp everything. I'm even hearing rumors that President Trump is thinking about suing President Biden because of this whole thing, because of the amount of money that has been spent already. Either way, interested to know however y'all feeling about it all. Until the next video, y'all be safe and stay wavy.